as we start to talk to these guys, internally we have a lot of discussions going about how we should respond. We try to nickname these guys so that they're easy to remember versus a case number or a date that they came in. And because claims change and all kinds of things change, we just want a nickname that we can track these guys with. So because his initial claim was that he could heat things up, we started calling him the Human Torch. Now, once he realized that he couldn't do that, or that he couldn't easily be tested on this, he changed his claim to one of dowsing, and dowsing gold. So we changed his nickname to the Dowsing Human Torch. That's how we refer to him for the remainder of his claim. So you'll see that the claim that I wrote down here, which took a very long time to get to, is quite detailed. So the subject claimed that he could douse greater than 1/8 of an ounce of 23 or 24 karat gold in a closed container using a rod and pendulum, indoors or outdoors, with no large samples of gold in the test area. He did not require to touch the objects, but he had to be in close proximity to it. And when he talked about close proximity, and I went back through the notes on this, he claimed that if it was under an ounce of gold, he could detect it within 12 feet. Now, we actually had a lot of internal debate as to whether he meant 12 feet or whether he understood that 1 tick was feet and 2 ticks were inches. But from our perspective, if he wasn't touching it, it really didn't matter to us. He could be within a foot, he could be within 12 feet. It made it easier for us if he could be within a few feet of an object so that we wouldn't have a room the size of a football field to test it. So we learned a number of things from this. One was make sure that the claim is very clear and very testable. No wiggle room. And the result is it took a long time to get to the stage where we had something that clear. The other thing we always ask the claimant to do is to test himself. And we did in this case. And the claimant, as they very often do, said, oh yeah, I've tested myself many times on this. Now the thing we'll come to understand quickly is testing is a relative term. It's also worth saying that we asked for a pre-demonstration. That is a time when we would go to a place of the claimant's choosing, under his conditions, have him demonstrate the ability to us. He refused us. For one of the reasons was he was, let's just say, very anxious to get on with the test. And then we get to the negotiation, and this was part of the negotiation. So this all sounds simple and quick, and it's really neither. The claimant really wanted the money. So we used to joke that the claimant really must have rent coming due. Because the claimant would respond to me within a few hours, and if I didn't respond to him, he would be on the phone to Jim Underdown in LA, who runs IIG LA. How did he get Jim Underdown's number? Well, he found his name on the IIG website, and by relentless Googling, found his number. He would then badger Jim to try and get my number so that he could get the test done faster. And eventually Jim just said, you know, you're just going to have to work through Jay. And it's a bit of a laborious process to build a structured protocol, as is all science. So that's the process that we went through. So we learned a number of things going through this. You need to make an effort to understand sensitivities versus preferences of your claimant. So a simple example of that is the use of cameras. Our claimant wanted the money badly. He didn't want publicity. And so one of the next lesson learned, being explicit about nice-to-haves and must-haves, we needed to have some photographic and video evidence of this. That was not negotiable to us. We could negotiate how many cameras, and if there were specific times when it wouldn't be optimal to take certain kinds of recorded images, but we had to have this. And so as soon as he knew that, and we were clear about that up front, he was very forthcoming, and that wasn't a problem in negotiation. You need to assume good faith. As far as we know, no one has come to the IIG yet trying to defraud us. These people all are either self-delusional or their special magic powers just don't seem to work when they get into the lab. The other one is set expectations of time and fairness. This process, as I said, is laborious. It takes a long time to work through, and the claimant needs to understand that. Very often they say, can I do it next weekend? Can I do it tomorrow? They need to know that you have to build a protocol first, and then once you've got a protocol, you need to find an acceptable space. You have to agree on everything. It takes time. So now I'm going to pass it off to Jerry to talk about statistics.